Successful people are always networking with each other at events, conferences, and mastermind groups. The question you're asking yourself is, am I outgoing enough that I network with the right people? Do I attend relevant events like conferences? This particular point is very peculiar because this is not just talking about general networking per se. This is talking about industry networking, networking at conferences. There is a certain dimension of growth in your career and in your business that you will under experience that will be affected by how you expand the quality and the quantity of your industry network, or what others may call professional network. Okay, so this is something where you need to be very conscious of. There are certain events that you will attend not only for the purpose of learning, but for the purpose of you stretching your influence in an industry. Let me tell you this. One of the secrets to stretch your influence in an industry is for you to build relevant networks with professionals in that particular industry. And what is the best way to do this? Attending industry events, conferences, and mastermind groups in those industries. This should be very specific, very, very peculiar and specific. Are you getting me? And you can also take this a notch higher, where if you are capable, you can intentionally travel for industry events in another country. One of the best ways to expand your influence in multiple countries is for you to leverage on industry events, attend these events, and make sure that you establish professional connections and networks with professionals in that your industry who are in different countries. That is step one. When you do that in step two, because I like to break professional networking into three levels. Follow me here very carefully. Because if you know this and do it, it will change your life. I have done it, I am still doing it, and I'll do it till I die. Okay? Now, follow me here very carefully, right? Let me say, I have a very good professional network in Kenya. Let me say, and Dubai also. Let me say Dubai. I have a very good professional network in Dubai, right? And I used this strategy to establish this network, which is still very fruitful today. And I'll show you how I did that, right? Remember I said, if you want to expand your industry influence, if you want to expand your professional influence, one of the best ways to do that is for you to build professional networks in your industry, and you do that by leveraging on industry events, industry conferences, and industry masterminds. And I said you can do this within the country, and if you are able, where you can do that outside the country, you can do that by attending industry events outside the country. Are you following? If you're following, comment, I'm following. Are you following? Leave me a comment. So you can decide and pay your flight ticket if you're able, and go for events in Rwanda, in Dubai, in Kenya, in Johannesburg, in the US, in Europe, in anywhere that you can, okay? But you are not just going there so that you can learn, but you're also going there because you have a mission to expand your industry influence, not just nationally, but internationally. When you go there, what is the first step of networking? Engage with the people. Introduce yourself. exchange contacts and get their contacts. That's level one of networking. Are you there? You exchange contacts. You exchange contacts. You introduce yourself very well. Have a pitch. It could be an email that you will send. It could be a WhatsApp message, whatever. But don't go and send hello, hi. I'm saying a pitch. Have a well-structured message that you send that will show that you are a professional. That's level one. Now, level two of this networking is where you ensure that the person understands your value and the value that you can bring to the table for them. Very important. Let the person understand your value and the value that you can bring into their life, the value that you can bring into their professional life, even the value that you can bring into their business life. And not this. I always strongly encourage, give the value first for free. Provide the value first for free. Remember, it's a new network and you're trying to establish it. You get the concept? Now, that's level two. Level three, now, you now take it to level three, where you now make sure that you guys do a project together. You guys do a project together. Nothing cements a professional relationship like when you do a project with a fellow professional together. Let's say that you discover that you all run NGOs. You may notice that the person you're trying to relate with is planning a community event. Offer to go and volunteer and support that event actively without asking for anything. Make sure you do something together. Cement that new relationship by doing something together. When you do that, you have passed the dimension of just acquaintances. You are now almost like a stakeholder. And if you consistently maintain the discussion, you can be recognized as an active stakeholder or an important professional partner. Please do not play with industry events. Friends, quarter friendships, church friendships, all of that, they are good. They have their place. But you see industry networks, you see industry relationships. These relationships are the ones that directly affect your career and your business directly. Many of you have shortcomings in networking as far as industry events are concerned. Is that true? If you look at why your career is having shortcomings a lot, you will see that you are weak as far as industry networking is concerned. Make sure that you are attending events, even if it's just one event a month. And now in this dispensation, it's much better because there are so many free online events. There are so many free online events. And I did mention about masterminds. You are networking with people in masterminds. Peak Performance Academy is an example of a mastermind. There are so many great people in PPA. So many great people. It's a community of almost 180 people. So many great people in PPA. That's a mastermind. There's nothing wrong taking out time. It is much easier for you because you already have a platform that makes the introduction easy. Hi, my name is this. I got that number from PPA. We are all members of the group. So invest greatly in attending industry events. And when you attend them, please do not leave without contacts. And don't just get contacts. Make sure you have a strategy on how you will follow up to establish relationships with these contacts. And some contacts may not be receptive. It's okay. Do your part. Me, I have contacts till today. When I try to connect, they are not receptive. It's okay. I have done my part. I have had situations many times where I tried to connect with somebody 2 years ago. 2 years after, they are now seeing me and they're like, oh, we met somewhere. And then they'll try to go and trace emails and all of that. It happens. Nothing wrong with that. But do your part. Do your part. So this is very important. Okay? Go and wake up your industry networking activities. Many of you are struggling financially. Many of you are struggling business-wise. Many of you are struggling with your career because you have a very weak industry network. Very weak. Let me tell you something. The people that will pay for your services are not your family members, friends, and church people. Only a small number of them will pay for your services. Only a small number of them will acknowledge the value you bring to the professional value that you create. Whether I like it or not, that's true. Only a small percentage of your friends, family members, church members, village people, quarter people, whoever you can think of in that area, only a small percentage of them can acknowledge the professional value that you can bring to the table and of course pay for it or even endorse you. And that is why you need to take a step up as far as your networking is concerned and invest intentionally in industry networking, because that is where you will find people who will recognize your value, your competence, and be willing to deploy it and pay you for it. Many of you listen to me right now, you know that I'm talking to you. You know that that's where your challenge is. You know that that's where you are weak. You have just realized that maybe this is why I know that I'm good at something, but I cannot make money from this thing. I know that I have these skills, but I can barely find where people can acknowledge my skills and use me for these skills and pay me for these skills. Many of you know that because you only revolve around fellow village people, friends, and funny people who cannot acknowledge and recognize you for the value you bring to the table. I want to challenge you. Just do this a little higher next year and see how your professional life will change. And let me give you a secret. Immediately your professional network start changing, I guarantee you your bank account will be affected. Do you know why? Because you start getting close to people who will be recommending you, endorsing you, selling you. A lot of things begin to happen. I have had speaking engagement where they pay me like 2 million francs to speak in an event, which I did not look for the opportunity. I was recommended by a professional who know that I am good at this. They now recommend me and I get paid.